Videotaping.
Oh,
Break session number 2. Someone from the day video. So she raped Anita. Didn't you have Dave in the side of the computer? He looks like he's scaring us. What are you two? Aw, look how cute he looks. Aww. I think I'm gonna die.